Men, listen, I need you to stop for a second and pay attention. Because I'm about to challenge one of the biggest lies you've been sold about what intimacy is, and what it's supposed to look like. You've been trained to think that satisfaction comes from tricks, from moves, from technique. You've been told that if you just figure out what to do to her body, you'll unlock everything you want. And I'm here to tell you the opposite. Don't go down that road. Don't go down on a woman as if it's some secret doorway into her love, her loyalty, or her happiness. Because it's not. Let's get real. If your connection with her is weak outside the bedroom, nothing you do inside the bedroom will fix it. I don't care how many hours you spend trying to perform, I don't care how much effort you put into proving yourself, if she doesn't feel safe with you, respected by you, supported by you, you're never going to create real intimacy. So when I say, don't go down on a woman, I'm not talking about denying her pleasure. I'm talking about shifting your mindset. I'm talking about rising up, instead of lowering yourself into the shallow game of performance. Because intimacy is not about what you do with your mouth, your hands, or your body. Intimacy is about what you do with your attention, your presence, and your heart. Think about it. Women don't fall in love with techniques. They fall in love with consistency. They don't crave men who are obsessed with proving themselves in one area, they crave men who are present in every area. Do you know what actually turns a woman on? A man who listens. A man who remembers the small details. A man who shows up when he says he will. A man who pays attention to her when there's no audience, no spotlight, no reward waiting on the other side. You see, you've been conditioned to believe that intimacy is a performance. That it's about what you can do to her. But real intimacy is about what you can build with her. That's the difference. That's the shift. That's the truth nobody tells you. Let me ask you something. How many of you have been in situations where you tried to impress someone physically, but deep down you knew there wasn't real connection? You did everything you thought you were supposed to do, and yet afterward, something still felt off. Do you know why? Because you were trying to fill an emotional gap with a physical act. And it doesn't work. It never works. Here's what does work. Presence. Partnership. Patience. The man who says, don't go down on her, isn't saying don't love her. He's saying, don't fool yourself into thinking love lives only in one area of your relationship. Don't convince yourself that physical effort makes up for emotional laziness. Don't think that intimacy is a skill set when it's really a mindset. You want to know what makes a woman open up to you? It's not what you do in 10 minutes of passion. It's what you do in the thousands of small moments that lead up to it. When she's anxious, do you hold her hand? When she's doubting herself, do you remind her of her strength? When she tells you something that seems small, do you listen like it matters? Because here's the truth, it does matter. And if you miss those moments, no performance in the bedroom will make up for it. Real intimacy is built on trust. Real intimacy is built on safety. Real intimacy is built on respect. And when a woman feels those three things with you, you don't have to prove yourself in the bedroom. You don't have to perform. You don't have to try to impress her. Because she already feels connected to you. She already wants you. So men, listen, don't go down on a woman thinking it's some magic button. Don't go down that shallow path of performance and pressure. Instead, rise up. Rise up. Into emotional maturity. Rise up into being a partner, not just a performer. Rise up into understanding that intimacy isn't about lowering yourself into a routine, it's about lifting her up into trust, into connection, into love. That's the truth. That's the secret nobody told you. Stop obsessing over the performance. Stop wasting your energy on the illusion that pleasure equals connection. Because it doesn't. Women don't remember a move. They remember a man. They remember the man who looked them in the eye when they were scared. They remember the man who showed up when life got heavy. They remember the man who made them laugh when they wanted to cry. They remember the man who made them feel safe. That's what intimacy really is. That's what lasts. That's what matters. Men, don't go down on a woman. Lift her up. In every way. Every day. That's how you win her heart. That's how you keep her trust. That's how you build something unforgettable. Men, listen. You've been programmed to think intimacy is about performance. You've been told that what matters most is how skilled you are, how well you can execute, how much you can impress her in those passionate moments. Somewhere along the way, intimacy got twisted into a test, a competition, a checklist of techniques. But here's the truth, that mindset is completely wrong. Intimacy is not a performance. It is a connection. Think about it. How many times have you believed that if you just do enough, or last long enough, or try hard enough, in the bedroom, you'll somehow secure her love or her loyalty? That if you master the physical, the emotional will follow. And yet, how many men walk away from those moments still feeling disconnected, like something is missing? Do you know why? Because you can't fake intimacy through performance. You can't manufacture closeness through technique. If the bond isn't there outside the bedroom, it won't magically appear inside it. A woman doesn't crave performance, she craves connection. She wants to know that you see her, that you respect her, that you care enough to listen when she speaks and remember the details when she shares. She wants to know that she is safe with you, emotionally and physically. And if those things aren't true, no amount of effort under the sheets will make her feel fully satisfied. Here's the mistake men make. They confuse intensity with intimacy. They think the louder, the longer, the more impressive, the deeper the connection must be. Wrong. Intensity can be fleeting. Intimacy lasts. Intensity can happen between two strangers. Intimacy only happens when there's trust. Let me put it this way, performance is about you. Connection is about her. Performance asks, how can I prove myself? Connection asks, how can I make her feel valued? Performance is ego-driven. Connection is love-driven. And the irony is, when you focus on connection instead of performance, the physical side naturally becomes better, because she actually feels comfortable, she actually feels open, she actually wants to be there with you, fully, without walls, without holding back. So if you want intimacy, stop treating it like a performance. Stop approaching it like it's a stage where you have to show off your best moves. Shift your mindset. Start realizing that intimacy is built long before the bedroom. It's built in the way you speak to her when you're frustrated. It's built in the way you show up when she's having a rough day. It's built in the way you carry her burdens, not just her body. That's what creates closeness. That's what builds trust. That's what opens the door to real passion. Men, don't perform. Connect. Don't focus on proving yourself. Focus on seeing her, hearing her, valuing her. Because at the end of the day, intimacy is not a test you pass. It's a bond you build. When I say, men, don't go down on a woman, most people take it the wrong way. They think it means withholding pleasure or refusing intimacy. That's not the message. The phrase is symbolic. It's about direction, not denial. It's about saying, stop lowering intimacy to a cheap performance. Stop convincing yourself that proving your worth through one act makes you a real partner. Don't go down. Instead, rise up. What does it mean to rise up? It means elevating your mindset about what intimacy really is. It means refusing to see it as something shallow, mechanical, or transactional. It means understanding that intimacy is a reflection of your maturity, your consistency, and your ability to create emotional safety. Anyone can memorize a technique. Anyone can fake intensity. But not everyone can rise up and actually be the kind of man who makes a woman feel valued beyond the moment. Too many men think intimacy is something they do to a woman. That's going down, lowering intimacy into performance. Rising up means realizing intimacy is something you build with a woman. It's not about what you can take from her, it's about what you create together. And that requires presence, patience, and emotional responsibility. Here's the truth. When you focus on going down, you're focused on proving yourself. It's ego. It's pressure. It's performance. But when you rise up, the question changes. It's no longer, am I good enough? It becomes, how can I show up better for her? That's a completely different energy. And women feel that shift immediately. Rising up means you listen when she talks, even if it's inconvenient. It means you handle conflict with respect instead of defensiveness. It means you take accountability instead of making excuses. It means you encourage her when she doubts herself and stand firm when life gets heavy. This is what creates intimacy that lasts, not a performance but a partnership. And here's the powerful part. When you rise up, she rises too. When you show up with strength, patience, and presence, you give her the space to open up fully. You make her feel safe to be vulnerable, to trust, to lean into the relationship. And that's when intimacy transforms. It stops being a shallow performance and becomes something deep, magnetic, unforgettable. Men, don't go down. Don't shrink intimacy into a checklist of physical moves. Don't reduce connection to a performance that begins and ends in the bedroom. Instead, rise up. Rise into maturity. Rise into love that shows up consistently. Rise into being the man who creates safety, trust, and respect. Because when you rise, everything changes. She feels it, you feel it, and the relationship stops being about moments of intensity and starts being about a lifetime of intimacy.